Sorry, I keep pulling myself off the screen. I was just telling everybody for joining. We're excited to see what you have to say, Jared.
Me too. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you. Appreciate it, Natalie. Hi, everybody. I assume there's everybody here. I can't see in this window how many people are here, so I could be just talking to Natalie. But if you're there, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for coming to the session. We're going to talk a little today about true agility and what it really requires, which is context. I'm show of invisible hands who heard the word agile at least 10 times in the past week. I have. We can't really seem to get away from the word, and I'll try not to use it too much in this conversation. But what I really want to say about it, requiring context, is that I think we've been hearing it in tons of different business areas, divisions, all this stuff for a long time now. And specifically in market research, I think what we've seen is a lot of technology players and platforms and other agencies sort of helping get agile in terms of quantitative research and quantitative data. And they've been doing that for like 5-10 years. And it's really pushed or driven a lot of that ability to remain agile, but only in that area of sort of keeping people informed along the way. What it hasn't done, and Quant isn't necessarily designed to do very well, is give people the other side of what true agility means, which is to keep them inspired along the process. That's where qualitative research really comes in. And in the past, I'd say 2-3 years, there's been a rush to this area of qualitative, agile platforms. And in our rush to get there, what we've done is we've essentially just taken the old playbook of agility means fast and cheap, and we've sort of cheapened the promise of what qualitative research is supposed to do, which is supposed to get you closer to the consumer and really immerse yourselves in their lives with the breadth and depth of understanding that it requires to keep teams inspired, not just informed along the process. That's what qualitative is supposed to do. And as we've rushed to build technology to help fill that gap in the last couple of years, we've missed out on that ability to be deep and broad with the way that we immerse ourselves to keep people inspired. Instead, we've developed these platforms and technologies that are designed to capture as quickly as possible a bunch of shallow level insights or answers to specific questions, or maybe gather pictures or couple-minute videos. What they're doing is they're missing that depth and breadth that gives you the context to keep teams inspired. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a little bit about what QualSights is doing differently in the space, so that you don't have to trade off that depth and breadth of what makes qualitative really good and keeps teams inspired to be agile. You don't have to trade that off for the speed and agility or speed and efficiency that you would come to expect from any sort of technology platform that's digitizing a space in the market insights game. So allow me to share my screen here, because the first thing I'll do is I'm going to show you where QualSights gets both the breadth and the depth to give you that appropriate context. From a breadth standpoint, what that really means is your platform or your technology has to be able to capture multiple moments within every consumer, right? Because not all moments happen inside of a focus group. Not all moments happen at that single time where they're doing their 1 or 2 minute video, or when a bulletin board might be going on. Moments happen over time, and they happen in different ways. So you need a platform that's going to give you the flexibility of both time and methodology to give you that broadest view of really who that consumer is. So what I'm showing you here is just the back end of our platform, because first I want to show you that what we do at QualSights, we have that multiple methodology platform, whereas here, as you can see, I'm filtering down. You see this demo project has about 9 or 10 different activities that happen over the course of the time. Right? So you can see just an introduction of somebody. You can see a video of a home tour to see where they store products You can watch them go to a store, and you can even watch them use things, and anything really in between, right? That's that idea of casting a wide umbrella over top of any individual person so you can really get to know them. The other half of that coin is the depth, right? And that's where I'll show you these specific activities that we do, because each activity goes deeper. I'll show you how it gets deeper by what we do differently, which is the way that we do asynchronous work in a self-moderated fashion that doesn't have any time limits, but gets you greater authenticity and tailoring of a discussion guide so you can have a more relevant interaction with somebody. What I'll do is I'll click on this introduction video just to give you a simple example of how this technology works to get that extra layer of depth.
Okay, first, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are and who else lives in your home. All right, so hi, my name is Taylor. I live at home with my parents. It's just the three of us. I just graduated from school, and because of coronavirus, I'm not moving anytime soon to my job.
I'm going to pause it one moment to tell you what's happening here. She has her mobile phone in front of her. Just like any other app out there where consumers of any types are used to using, what ours does is it gives you that ability she can see herself while she's recording, but also what happens is those questions get populated one at a time on her screen. They're not sent to her beforehand so that she has an opportunity to rehearse the best answer or practice some inauthentic response that she thinks you're wanting to hear. These come up one at a time, unbiased and very natural. Now, what you're going to see when I hit play again is that this is a long form video. It's not just this one question, and you'll see her glide right into the next question as soon as she's finished with the first one.
So I am just living at home for now. How much of the cleaning do you do in your home? I would say I do some of it. I pretty much take care of everything.
So I'll mute that again just to give you a voice over a couple of key things. What we're doing for this greater depth is also changing the style of question that's being used, because you saw there on the screen there was a closed-ended response. She taps the answer on the screen so that you have a structured piece of data. I'll show you how that comes into the efficiency of analysis later. But it captures that quantifiable data, and it allows her to then give that voiceover color at the exact same time. So now you're capturing the what and the why through the same methodology. You can have a variety of question types here too to facilitate that ability to capture and structure any of those moments, no matter what kind of question you're wanting to ask. What these closed-ended questions also do is they give you a chance to have a skip pattern in there. Just like the old quantitative surveys would, there's skip patterns built in so you can have a more relevant conversation with this person without having to be there in person. So if you asked her, for example, does she have a dog? If she clicked yes, you could ask her, oh, what's the name of your dog? If she says no, you can move on to the next section of the script or of the guide to help keep this very relevant and very engaging so that she's not distracted and you're not wasting time listening to responses that aren't necessarily relevant. What I'll show you then too, because I promised to give you multiple moments across to get that breadth, I'll show you what that depth looks like in a few other cases. So let's take that same technology and go in store. Now, it's the same app, it's the same style, but now this person is actually in a store. They start recording at whatever point that you want them to that fits, but the questions coming up on screen, I'll hit play and just talk over while on mute. What's happening is, again, instead of sending her the questions ahead of time, you can really get unbiased responses. This has become crucial in moments where you're in store, because if you say somebody, for example, if you look here and say Downey's on the screen, if you say, I want you to go into the store. Here's a bunch of questions, and half the questions are about Downy. And the first question you want them to ask is, what catches your eye? They're going to say Downy, right? Because you've already told them ahead of time that they're going to be asked about it. So naturally, psychologically, they're already programmed to start keying on the thing you want them to. In our case, the thing that makes QualSights so unique and so powerful in the in-store is that coming up on screen one at a time gives you that option to not bias them and really get those raw observations as they're going through the store and looking either at the store level, aisle level, category level, brand, or SKU. All of those you can do in the same long form video that's easy for them to use. Does not require store permission, does not require Wi-Fi. There are other instances that you might want to use the same self-moderated technology. Some of the cases that we also see blended into these multiple moments is if you want to capture the moment where they're first seeing a product concept. So what I'll show here is very similar looking to the introduction video, but
okay,
you'll see here the system programs your stimuli behind the scenes or your concept behind the scenes. This can be a static image, this can be video, whatever you need. Now, what happens is on her end, the system understands that it's a concept, so it blows it up full screen for her. For us, as we're looking at it right here, it looks like the text is quite small, but on her end, it fills up the whole size of her screen, so she's able to read some of that small looking font that we see here on ours. And so what clients are doing is they're not just getting that raw response of it, but because you've seen her introduction, you've seen her other cleaning products, you understand how she shops for things, now you have that contextual understanding of why she might say, rate a concept the way that she does. So when you do, you can blend in these closed-ended questions here, which you're about to see. It's not just that surface level quant response. You actually know more about this person and her intricacies of how she's even got to that point or what has kind of formulated her opinion behind just the emoji rating that she's given. A lot of our clients, I had mentioned before, are understanding what it's like to be in somebody's home without having to be in their home, without the time and expense that it takes and intrusion. This is just a methodology here where you can see inside somebody's home at any moment using that same technology. But what you can also do is now, because you want that multi-methodology, multiple moment thing, you can even blend this into a live discussion as well. So you'll hear my voice, unfortunately, my voice being the demo moderator on this one, but you'll see how it works.
And with a couple of questions along the way, if you don't mind.
Okay, for sure. No problem. All right, so this is my kitchen, so I'll walk around a little bit.
And I fast forward to a moment where I ask her a question.
All-purpose surface cleaner. I'm pretty sure we have glass cleaner. Don't have oven cleaner. I don't think we have air freshening spray. So those are the ones we have.
Okay. Hey, Taylor, question for you.
Yeah.
Where do you keep those in the kitchen? Can you show us?
Yeah. So these are all underneath the kitchen sink right here.
So what you're seeing there is when I want that even greater level of depth that really only a human can provide, I can infuse myself as a moderator into all of those moments, whether it's here in their home doing a tour, or whether it's in a store, or whether it's just at home on their couch. I can infuse myself as a moderator if I want that extra ultra layer of depth to give me that contextual understanding so that I can provide inspiration back to the teams. Of course, you can do regular IDIs, regular focus groups with this too, in case you wanted to bring a team of viewers and stakeholders involved. You can absolutely do that just as you would expect it to. But what I'll do is before I leave this page showing the various types of activities that can be done across a single person to get to know them, I want to start to get into the other part of what makes QualSights different, which is the way that our technology facilitates faster ways to find the moments that matter and present them in a compelling fashion to your team. We're not that company who just gets as many videos or pictures as possible and dumps them in your lap so you can spend thousands of hours watching videos or read thousands of pages of transcripts. What we do is we have a much more intelligent system. I'll start out with just the individual video. In here, you see a couple of different things. One, just as you would expect from an online platform, you have automatic transcription involved. Okay? You can read them here, you can search for them, you could even download them if your heart desires. From that transcript, what we're doing is we're calling out keywords. These keywords here below become not just a list of keywords that are used, but they turn into clickable, findable data points. So if I wanted to go to the moment where she talks about expensive, I could just click on this.
See a value if it's more expensive. I've never bought detergent. A Scrub Daddy wand where you put the detergent in.
Right.
So it used to be.
So you get the idea. It's now you're starting to see that the platform's storing this like data that can be searchable and found very quickly. The other thing you can do is you can go directly to moments within this video. So if you didn't want to watch your entire 20-minute video, you can go directly to a question. So let's say you go directly to that question of how do you feel about the concept you just saw? And you want to see how she answered that. You just click on it and go directly to that spot.
All right, next question. How do you feel about the concept you just saw? Select an emoji that best describes your feelings and explain your choice.
So this type of technology works inside of every video, regardless of the methodology that you choose or the location that you choose. From here, if you were this type of analyst, you could create video clips directly out of here, or just by highlighting some transcripts so that you can grab a moment that you just saw and make a video clip out of it for later. But what I want to do now is I want to show you, instead of the world where you're watching every single video fully like we've been doing thus far, I'm going to give you that new view into how to properly be efficient with your analysis when it comes to online qualitative. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this page. Remember before where we had the questions come up on screen that were closed-ended and they could tap the answer? This gets automatically quantified and charted. So let's say we go to that same concept evaluation that we just saw with Tina, and we go to that question, how do you feel about the concept you just saw? Right? The point of this isn't necessarily to give quantitative response to this. The point here is that even at qualitative base sizes, you get an instant direction on what's happening in the videos. So I don't have to watch 10 hours of videos to find out that most people didn't love it. That's the point. That's where you're taking a quant forward but qual rich style of analysis, simply because we're being smarter with the technology so that you can have that depth, have that breadth without having to watch 10, 20, 30 hours of video. Now your next question, of course, is, well, now that I know that, I need to understand why. The easiest way to do that is just click on this chart, and what it does is the machine automatically returns for you a series of valuable pieces of information to help you understand why they don't love it. The one thing that comes up are the keywords they use. These are filtered only to people who said they didn't love that concept. So now you're starting to see whether it's number of participants or number of mentions, how many people or how many times certain keywords were mentioned. And you can go directly to those moments just by clicking them. But the richness really comes in down here, because what the machine now has done is, instead of having you look for look through all 10, 20 hours of video to find those answers, it returns to you the 4 people who responded that way and returned just the clip of them answering that question. So you don't have to go look for Kyle's 32-second answer. You actually just have Kyle's 32-second answer surface directly to you so that you can either watch his video here or read his transcript below. If you find that as you're starting to analyze, and you find that Kyle's clip might be a very relevant to the story you want to tell, all you have to do, drag it and drop it into the presentation builder over here. This presentation builder is always here on these analysis slides, because the moment you find something that's important or compelling or something that's going to inspire your teams to stay agile, all you have to do is just slide it over into this. You're creating slides here. So this demo has a value-based slide, an inflation and price slide, a shopper journey slide. You have the flexibility to create, add, and edit these slides in your presentation just that way. Another way you can do that is if you just wanted to go specifically to something that your team cares about. So let's think about that shopping example we just saw. What I'll do is I'll go to that in-store shopping activity as you see here, and I'll select the moment that I want to find. So maybe what do you look for when you shop for laundry detergent? If I click on that, it does the same thing. It brings me the list of keywords that people are mentioning and individuals are saying about what they're looking for in laundry detergent. So dermatologist or ingredients or experience rises maybe to the top. You also see their sentiment about how they're reacting to these things. But again, down below, you're seeing all of the individual clips of any time somebody answered this question with the same idea. Less watching of videos, less subjectivity, and more finding the moments that matter fast, and then dragging and dropping them into the presentation builder. Now in this presentation builder, of course, you can drag in not just videos, but you can drag in some of those quantitative charts that you were seeing earlier. You can even drag in keywords. So what this really becomes is that space where you can build that compelling story right here across multiple moments, across multiple people, multiple methodologies, and multiple styles of research. This is where context matters. It has the breadth and depth combined into one without having to trade off that efficiency of being able to really use qual for what it's supposed to be, which is that inspirational piece that a lot of people forget about in terms of agility. When you're ready, you can go to this presentation tab. This is that final spot where you can add captions, add transitions, change slide titles if you like. And now whenever I export this, you've got a fully comprehensive, ready to share deck that has that depth, has that context, and ready to inspire some teams. That's what it means to do real qualitative in the modern tech-based world. I'm going to stop sharing because I think I'm out of words or demo stuff.
Thanks so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Looks like we've got a few questions. I'd love to just kind of jump into Q&A if you're ready.
Let's do it.
Awesome. So it looks like the first one is revolving around fintech. Is this a platform that you could utilize for banking or fintech? Have you worked with partners like that in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. We've done a variety of things in that space. Of course, as you would imagine, any consumer, regardless of what category we're talking about, has the ability to use our app. And we work with great panel companies and great recruiters all over the world. So we can focus in on that particular consumer. But then what we've seen those customers do is get interested in not just hearing about maybe their habits and practices around spending or financial management, but also can do other things where they might be able to look at a website or look at an app with our screen recording features. right? It's those moments too that then tend to bring them even deeper into those moments where they might be interacting with that brand or product in the banking, financial, fintech area.
Cool. And as far as YouTube video, what if the respondent doesn't want to turn on their camera? Is that something that you guys often see?
Your audio was breaking up. Can you say that one more
So
time?
sorry about that. This question is if the respondent doesn't want to turn on their camera as far as video collection goes.
Yeah. Well, in most markets, generally consumers are willing to turn on their video, right? Because we understand that consumer stories and immersions are mostly best told on video, we do prefer to screen for people who are willing to share. However, if there are needs and certain cultures, like we've done research in some areas of the Middle East and stuff where it's not culturally appropriate to say put a lot of things on video. In those moments, we have methodologies that allow you to capture audio only so that you don't need the video. So you'll still get the richness of the voice and the pitch and tone and inclination without necessarily the video visuals.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And what if a respondent answers a question before it is shown on the screen? I'm not sure if I completely understand.
They will be a mind reader then, because they don't know what's coming, right? That's the magic of our tech, is that they don't see the questions until they come up one at a time on the screen. So if they somehow know what's coming, I don't know, maybe we should all hire them because they're going to tell the future for us, and none of us have a clue where that's going.
Awesome. And so obviously you were just speaking to, different cultures. For what languages or in what markets can people use QualSights?
As a tech platform, we're available anywhere. We have both iOS and Android apps. So we're universal all over the globe, just from a platform perspective. From a language perspective, we're already available in well over 100 languages. We also transcribe in over 100 languages as well. We even have video voiceover features where if somebody wants to call me and ask me about that later, I'll blow your mind, I promise. But right now there really are no geographic limitations.
Awesome. And if somebody has a preferred moderator analyst, can they use them or how would that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a partnership-based model because we are a tech company, and we have found through other companies, other case studies, right, that when you try to do everything well, you do nothing at all well. We do tech really well, okay? So what we do is we have an outsourcing model for our moderators, for our servicing of any kind. So if you do have a preferred moderator, a preferred recruiter, a preferred agency or independent, 100% you can bring them to the party. If you want us to recommend one, we do that as well. But yeah, there's no limitations to who you can bring to the party.
And then this is just a little bit more specific. When you do in-store shop-alongs, do you need Wi-Fi or store permissions?
You do not need Wi-Fi. Our app does not require it at all. So no problems there. When it comes to store permission, I've personally only seen, we've done a ton of them, as you can imagine, all over the world. I've only seen one instance where it was a problem, and it was in like rural Vietnam or something, where it was a mom and pop store with like one aisle, right? But we've done them everywhere, all over the world, all different retailers, all different channel types, and have had only one issue. So no, you do not require store tech to do this.
Awesome. Great. Well, I love the utility of the platform. It looks like we are coming out here on time, but if anybody has any additional questions, make sure to reach out to the QualSights team. They'd be more than happy to answer them after the fact. Jared, I guess any closing thoughts from you?
No, I'm just looking at this Q&A to see if there's anything that I should touch on. But no, I think Deirdre, yes, that is shareable. you can do a shareable link or a MP4 or a PowerPoint. Thank you for that. And I think that's all the Q&A. So no, nothing else from my end.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining today. Really, really appreciate it. It was great to hear from the QualSights team. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their day.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, everybody.